Hi again, everyone. Bet you thought you were finished with me for the day after I just finished sharing with you my thoughts on those KN95 face masks. But I thought, while I'm videoing, I should share with you what I spent the better part of yesterday doing with regards to my seed organization for the year. Because, it is January the 14th, and in the next couple weeks, it's time to start getting some seeds inside planted. And it won't be too long after that before some of the more hardy plants could be put in. And I'll show you what I went through yesterday and how I started to get myself organized and figuring out which seeds I need to purchase for this year. I'll be right back with everything that I had gathered yesterday and show you how I went about that process. Okay, this is my Gardener's Journal. It's a 10-year journal that I actually won at a garden club meeting about 10 years ago. Never got around to writing in it. But then COVID hit, and I decided in the spring of 2020, maybe I should bring this book out and start writing in it. So what it has in it, besides all the different things for every day to mark what you've been doing in the garden, it also has garden layout in the front for 10 years. So, for instance, last year in 2021, I laid out to graph size the different raised beds and garden areas that I have in the front yard and the backyard. And in those squares, I put in what I had planted. So I remembered where I had it for when I want to rotate. So that's what I did first. I looked in here, thought about, and put down on a list all the different plants that I want to plant this year. So I did that first. Okay, turned on a light. Might be able to see this a little bit better. So, anyway, I made a list all the way down. I should have probably done it on a graph on my computer, which is what I usually do because you guys know I'm so anal. But anyway, I had roughly marked them down. Then I had grabbed out my West Coast Seeds catalog from 2021 because I haven't been down to the garden center to see if they have the 2022 seed catalog. And I can only hope that the seeds that I want to pick up are available this year, because sometimes they're not, sometimes they don't carry them over the next year for whatever reason. So this is my 2021 book. I actually used a black felt, marked my name and do not remove on it, because often I've had a few copies of these and I've given them away, and then the information that I've marked inside gets lost. So I went through this book from the beginning and cross-referenced all the different things with my list here of the seeds I need in the garden. Circled them. For instance, these Goliath bush beans right here is something that I plant. I circled them and I marked that I have them because they are open pollinated, and I save those seeds every year. So that's what I'm aiming for in the future, is to have as many plants as possible in my garden that are open pollinated, that I can save the seeds every year and not have to go out and buy new ones. Not going to do that with any of the squash, because squash very easily cross-pollinate, and you might think you're going to put in a butternut squash, but whatever comes out isn't anything like it. It's some other thing. You'll probably get a squash, but it will not be what you really want. And if you have limited space, you don't want to fool around with planting things that are something that you're not going to be happy with. So, moving on. So, as I'd stated, I went through and marked them all. Now, when I got to, so on this sheet, I had marked in blue all the ones that I have. I have seeds, I have whatever. The ones that I don't have, I marked red and by. And I made a sheet then of what to go, the numbers of them, and what I want to buy when I go down to Garden Works, because I do have a $100 gift certificate from Stephen. my son, that I could use. So I get to buy all these with his gift certificate. Thanks, Stephen. So I will do that. Now, some of these, the tomatoes, for instance, last year I had early girls left from the year or so before it, and they came up just fine and they were great, but they're not open pollinated. So I've used up all those seeds now, and I'm going to move on to buying Oregon Spring, which happen to be open pollinated. So I will be doing that. So that's what I did. If I have some seeds left, I'll use them up, but if they're not open pollinated, I will move on in future years. And I made notes and put, buy in 2022, because then all my seeds from before will be used up. So that's the plan. I should also mention and bring to your attention that I had all my seeds in here, and I had meticulously gone through them, and any that were really old and I didn't think I'd ever plant, and I actually threw them out finally, bit the bullet and threw them out. But I went through them all and then put into here separately all the seeds that I still have that I'll be using this year. The Goliath bush beans that I've saved, the different carrots, the peppers, which happen to be open pollinated, these peppers, but I still have lots left from the ones that I bought that were packed for 2021. So I'll use some of those, even though I could start a lot because I actually seed saved them too. So you people who want all these different starter plants from me will be getting lots. So that's what we have in here. These are all the ones that will be going into the garden and separate into there. And as I was doing all that and looking at the sheets, in the beginning of this West Coast Seed catalog, they have a chart for when vegetables can be planted, when they can be started indoors, when they can be direct sowed, or put in and covered. So I went through and circled all the ones that I have. And on this sheet as well, I marked down when they can be planted. For instance, it says that you can start leeks inside, because they do take a long time because they're an onion, February 1st. So other years I've actually started them later than that. And so maybe I could get a bit more of a jump. Some things sprout so quickly, like the squash. They don't need to be planted until May 1st because they come up so fast and get so big inside to transplant. So, but February the 1st, I can get those leeks seeds started. And it says that March the 1st, I can actually direct sow kale into the garden. So that's earlier than I ever have, and they could do all right. And as long as I have lots, might as well go for it. If they don't come up and we have a cold spring, then I can replant. So anyways, that's what I'm doing. So I've marked down when they can go in the ground and when is a good time that I should start them indoors. So that's what I'm going to get busy doing. I have phoned Integrity Sales today about picking up the Sunshine Mix number 4 organic growing mix, and they have lots in. Apparently it was shorted last year, but they got in last year's order and this year, so they have lots. So it's about $38 a bag. It's a big 4 cubic foot bale, and it lasts me for a few years, so I didn't even have to buy any last year. So I wasn't aware they had a shortage. So that's what we're gonna try to do in this next few days, is take a drive out to Integrity Sales, pick up that growing mix, because I have found through many experiments over the years of trying different things, sea soils and all kinds of stuff, that number 4 Sunshine growing mix is really the best mix to start the seeds. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna try going down on maybe Sunday, I hope they're open Sunday, to Garden Works with my granddaughter Alana, and we're gonna pick out some seeds that I have listed there. And then in the next week or two, we're gonna start getting some planted inside and start off our growing season and look forward to nicer weather and sunshine. So I'll let you guys go. I just wanted to let you know what I've been busy doing. Already planting my garden. I know it's January, but hey, Never too early. Okay, you guys take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.